Look at this baby. Look at him. Hello Bookworm family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Danny. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click the notification bell because it's always a mystery when I post new videos. And if you're not already following me on Instagram or now, brand new, I have Book Talk. The handle for both of those are the same. It is at _dancing_bookworm. I post on there full book reviews and bookish content. So I will have already talked about my book talk and stuff on here by the time you guys see this video because this is the start of my monthly vlog. I do one big vlog a month, and then if I have like a special event, I'll do like smaller themed vlogs, but this is just my monthly vlog. But it is 1:32 in the morning. It is officially January 1st. I was at my brother and sister-in-law's babysitting. I rung in the New Year's with my nieces and nephew, and you guys can see that in my previous monthly vlog for December. And I had a really good night with them, but I don't want to end my night yet. So I'm going to start the year off with a book, and I'm going to start off with Pokemon Journeys. This is by Machito Gomi is how I'm going to say it. I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. Oh, I love you too, Chandler. Happy New Year. He has got the zoomies. I've been gone all day, so he's very playful right now. But I'm going to sit down and read this. This is like one of the more modern takes on Pokemon, where Ash is, you know, going on another adventure, gotta catch 'em all kind of situation. I'll tell you guys more about it when I read it, but I decided to start the year off with a Pokemon book because Pokemon was like a really big part of my like late childhood, like 4th, 5th, 6th grade-ish, before I became a teenager. And then I kind of, funny enough, I met a boy and he was really into Pokemon and he told me he'd be my boyfriend if I gave him all my Pokemon cards. So I did. And then he didn't end up being my boyfriend, which I mean, years later, it turns out I wasn't interested in boys anyway, but you know, he was going to be my boyfriend for those Pokemon cards. So I did kind of like lose interest in it after that and was mad about it, but I've seen so much great things about Pokemon lately, and my niece and I, my youngest niece Riley and I, and oh, my food is ready. Yes, I'm making dinner at 1:32 in the morning because I did have pizza at my brother's house, but I just didn't really have like any like anything healthy today, so I'm making some like broccoli because that's what normal people do at 1:32 in the morning. But anyway, so over the summer, I started watching with my youngest niece, Riley, and my nephew, Jacob, the new Pokemon show on Netflix, which I believe is also called Pokemon Journeys. It might be Pokemon Adventures. I'm not really sure. But it's the new Netflix Pokemon, and I was watching it with them, and my niece would say Pikachu in the cutest way. She'd be like, Pikachu, and it was wicked cute. So, yeah, it kind of just got me back into liking Pokemon. I started playing the Pokemon, not Pokemon Go, can't remember what it's called, but it's a different Pokemon game on my phone. So I started playing that. And JD Ray Reads always talks great things about Pokemon graphic novels, so I thought I would give this one a go. I'm pretty excited to jump into it and make this like... Why did you attack? He is so playful right now. I have been gone all day, so I gotta play fetch with him, but this is how I'm gonna start my year, in other words. Guys, I even found Pokemon Ambiance. So we're doing Pokemon Ambiance with Pokemon Journeys. It's Snorlax! Snorlax is my all-time favorite Pokemon. Okay, so I just finished Pokemon Journeys Volume 1. I really liked it. I'm going to give it a 4-star, and the reason I'm not giving it a 5-star is because, well, so I really liked it because it is like the TV show on Netflix, so I was excited, like I already kind of knew what was happening. So this is about Ash and Go, and this was Go. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not really sure. But so Ash wants to be the greatest Pokemon champion in the world, obviously, like the master battler. And then Go wants to collect one of every Pokemon. So that's kind of like they're working together to achieve their goals. The reason I like this is because it is so much like the TV show, but the reason I don't like it is because it's so much like the TV show, because even though like the TV show is based on this or one or the other, it's kind of written more like episodes, so there's a lot of like missing details that it'll just kind of like go in and be like, oh, like, by the way, this person is this person, just so you know, instead of being like actually building that character into the story. They're just like, oh yeah, that person is that person, like I kind of like on a episodic TV show. So it's not like the most easy reading when you're like, oh wait, who's that character? And it's like, oh yeah, by the way. So like, for example, Jesse and James are back in this series. If you guys watch the original Pokemon, Jesse and James are like the bad guys in it. And so Jesse and James come back in this, but there's no like build into it. It's just like, oh yeah, Ash knows Jesse and James, but you're kind of like, how would Ash know Jesse and James, kind of thing. But it's still really good. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. And also the artwork is awesome. I kind of wish the artwork was in color, but like, that's just awesome. I love Score Bunny too. Score Bunny was so sassy. But Snorlax is still always my favorite Pokemon. But Score Bunny is really sassy, and I love that. So yeah, so 4 stars for my first book of the year. I'm gonna see if this will match up with any of my calendar. So I will show you guys what I mean. But basically, I have like it's not a calendar. It's like a reading challenge book, and you get to open up envelopes if you read a book that matches up with it. So let me show you guys what I mean by that. So I did show this off in my last haul video, but this is got a bunch of envelopes inside of it, and each envelope has like a prize inside. So if you can find a book that matches one of these, then once you read it, you get to open up the prize. So I'm going to see if one of them will have worked for Pokemon Journeys. I did show this off in a haul a little bit more in detail, my last haul, if you guys want to see that. And I did purchase this on Amazon. So let me see what I can find to get my first prize, because I didn't touch this in 2022. This is solely for 2023. So let's see what I can find. Okay, so I would say this book would either work for read a book by an author whose ethnicity is different from your own, because Machito Gomi is Japanese, or read a new book that is primarily intended for children. But I don't know if that means like a new book like released this year or a new to me book. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So let's open up the envelope and see what's inside. Is it stuck now? It is. Okay. All right. This is my first one. This is very exciting. Oh, I love these little glue dot things. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, this is cute. These are "This Book Belongs To" labels. That's cute. I like these. These are really cute. Not like the best prize in the box, because I've seen like some of them. I'll show you guys the back, but yeah, that's super cute though, and I will use these. I always like seeing these in books too, but you guys can see on the back like there are some like bookmarks and coasters and stickers and stuff like that. But it also says there's like some nicer ones like wooden bookmarks, bookish greeting cards, coffee cup sleeves, stuff like that. So so this isn't like one of the best ones in it, but it still is a good one, and I will use it on some of the books that I plan to like pass down to like Ava, Jacob, and Riley when they get older. So cute. And it's really exciting to have my first book of 2023 done. Like, that's super exciting. So I'm going to work a little bit on my book journal before I go to bed. And tomorrow I'm going bowling with my family because it's our New Year's Day tradition. Well, not tomorrow, today. Oh, just later today. But it's our New Year's Day tradition to go bowling with my entire mom's side of the family. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Yay, Ray! You do it! You get one more turn!
Oh, you got one more turn.
You got another turn! Yeah, girl! There it is! Hello. So it is Monday, January 2nd. I just got home from work. I have some housework I need to do. I started listening to Undead and Unwed. Can't remember the author, but it's right here. This is about a woman who dies in a car accident and she comes back as a vampire. She's trying to like figure out like this like coven that thinks she's like a vampire queen, and she gets stuck with this like obnoxious guy who I'm guessing she's gonna fall in love with or whatever. It's dumb. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't like it at all. But I needed a paranormal romance for one of my reading challenges, so I'm doing that right now. But I have to listen to that because I have to do a little tidying around the house, and then I have to do some work, some studio work, so I'm gonna do that. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing with my night. So I will check in with you guys if I finish that tonight, though I don't think I will. But it is, oh God, what day is it? Tuesday, January 3rd. Okay, that took a long time to think about. I did finish listening to Undead and Unwed. It ended up being smut, and I don't read smut, and I like freaked out a little bit because I was not prepared for that. I did listen to the whole thing. I don't know why. It was really like, I was already halfway through the book before like the smut parts happened. So I was like, maybe this is just one scene and just very graphic. And then it was like the rest of the book. But yeah, I gave it 1 star. I don't like smut. It scares me. It's just not my cup of tea. And it was like hetero smut. Although some of it was not hetero smut. It was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening there and I don't like it. It's not for me. But yeah, so I guess if you like that, it was kind of funny and cute, like in other places. So if you like smut, I don't like smut. And it was very much like, bah! Like every time. I ended up fast forwarding a lot of it because I was listening to it on audiobook where I was like, is it over yet? But yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff. I'm not like a prude or anything. I just, that's a lot of detail that I don't want to read about. Like, I don't need to know about other people's lives. I'm good with just my own. But anyway, so I started listening to Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis. So I'm trying to do 12 classic books in 12 months challenge. And, this is the first one in that challenge that I'll be reading. And it's also covering my prompt for, my reading rivalry. Sorry, not reading rivalry. Bookerty. Oh my gosh, I could not remember the name of that for the life of me. I'm a little tired today, guys. But it was to read a book that didn't have great reviews on BookTube, and Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin just read the entire Chronicles of Narnia series and did not like it. So I ended up reading this one as part of that. It's about the 4 kids end up going back to Narnia, but it's like hundreds or thousands of years later. I don't actually know how much. And the whole city is in ruins, and they have to figure out like what happened and how to rebuild their kingdom. So far I'm like an hour into it. I'm gonna listen to some more right now while I do some work. I will probably actually finish it up tonight because work takes me forever. So yeah, I'll probably finish it up tonight. Tomorrow I've got a busy day, but I'm hoping to actually be able to read a physical book for a little bit when I get home. I really did take an actual break, unfortunately, from my time, like, at work, and, like, when I normally go on break, I normally still do work over break, and this time I didn't. I did the camps, but I didn't do any desk or office work, and now I'm super behind and feeling the stress of that, so that's not fun. But I do want to check our calendar really quick and see if there was anything that Undead and Unwed covered, so let's see if we get any bookish prizes right now. I don't know why I keep calling it a calendar. It's not. Alright, so we have read a novella. It was not a novella. Read in a place, nope. Read about a person with a disability, no. Read a graphic novel, no. Visit a local bookstore, didn't do that yet. Listen to a reading-themed podcast, nope. Read a book you selected purely based on its cover. It could count for that one. Like, I didn't actually read the description. Probably why I didn't know it was smut. I did just pick it on the cover. Find and read a book that is much longer than your usual reads, nope. Write a letter, no. Attend an author event, no. Reread a classic you hated in high school. Read a book by an author. Oh, we already did that one. Oh, nope. Okay. Read a book that is primarily intended for children. That's definitely not for children. Go to your favorite section in the bookstore. Write down a favorite quote or passage from a beloved book. Read a book that's been sitting on your shelf unread for more than a year. ask a family member what book has made a lasting impression, participate in a book club. This I'm currently doing. We might open that one if I can't find something for this one. Make or order a snack or meal described in a book you've read. Read a book that features an Indigenous person. Read a book in a genre you've never read before. There it is! I have never read smut before. That was my first experience. So we are going to open this one. Definitely never read that before. Ooh, it's tiny. It's in here. All right, let's see. Ah. All right. Oh, that's so cute. It's a little paperclip bookmark. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me put it up here. But it looks like a teacup. Oh, that's so cute. I'm going to go put it in my bookmark collection. That's very cute. Hello. So it is Wednesday, January 4th. I did end up finishing Prince Caspian last night. I gave it 2 stars. It wasn't anything special to me. It was kind of just like a retelling of the Bible with different people, which, I mean, the Bible's kind of boring. So, and I'm not Christian. So, yeah. Anyway, I am going to sit down and read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is about, I'm just going to read you guys the back because I'm pretty sure I've butchered this every single time. It says, Nora Stevens' life is books. She reads them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why when she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August, when Libby begs for a sister's trip away with visions of small town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine of her own story. But instead of picnics in meadows or run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she is not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences, no editor worth their salt would allow what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. So this sounds really cute. I got this as a gift for Christmas. I'm using it in almost all my reading challenges for this month. So I'm going to try to get 100 pages in tonight. It's about midnight right now, so I'm going to try to get 100 pages in and see what I can do from there. But yeah, it sounds cute. It sounds like a quick read. And I'm not really like a romance person, but I've actually really started liking like this type of romance where it's more like comedy, funny, and short on sex scenes. Like I can handle reading about relationships. Like relationships are cute to me, whether it's gay, straight, anything. Like I like relationships. I think they're adorable. I like watching people be happy. I don't like when there's graphic sex scenes in them. So as long as the book is kind of more like this is about 2 people who fall in love, I can deal with that. If it's about 2 people who fall in love and have sex on every page, that's an issue for me, which was the problem with Undead and Unwed. So it was like not just people falling in love, but it was like people having sex on every page. So, but this one sounds like one of the kind of romances that I actually like, where it's just kind of like a fun people meeting, cutesy thing that I would see on like Grey's Anatomy or something like that. So I don't know why I used Grey's Anatomy as an example, but I just kind of, like, I always root for hetero romances on TV shows. I don't know why. Like, don't get me wrong, like, Grey's Anatomy, Callie and Arizona, like, they were, like, my go-tos. But, yeah, I don't know, like, Friends, I was always like, go Rachel and Ross, and go Monica and Chandler, and stuff like that. I like that kind of romance. You don't see a lot of those romances in gay novels. I wish you did, like the funny, awkward, silly, goofy stuff. Maybe I'm just not reading the right gay romances. So let me know if you know of like a funny, goofy one, because I would like to read that. All the ones that I've read so far have been pretty like serious. So I don't want more serious. I like funny, silly, cute. So I'm going to jump into this and try to get 100 pages in tonight before I kind of do something like watch TV or something along those lines. Prince Caspian, I already checked, did not meet anything on my reading challenge book. I already looked into that, and honestly, I don't know how many envelopes I'm going to actually let myself open a month, because I'm going to go through it really fast. But I'm also doing a lot of reading challenges this month, so it's kind of like a toss-up for me. Like, I don't know. Okay, so I ended up only getting like 60 pages into this. It actually had a really slow start, and it just started picking up, but I'm tired, so I can't get into it any more than I already have. I do like it so far. It just started slow, so I was having a hard time reading it. Like, there wasn't a lot of dialogue or anything, and like I've said in past videos, I'm a pretty slow reader, so other than that, I forgot to tell you guys, I started reading The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've read it before. I've read it multiple times, and it's always a 5-star for me. But if you guys don't know what it's about Katniss, who ends up taking her sister's place in this game where teenagers have to fight to the death to keep peace in their, like, world. Or so the government claims that will keep peace in their world, after a rebellion took place to overrule the capital before she was born, like many years before she was born. And she is sent into this game where she has to use survival tactics to survive being killed by other teenagers. I'm sure you guys know what The Hunger Games is about. I'm pretty tired right now. But I did start listening to that, and I'm about halfway through it right now. Which it's always a 5-star for me. I always love The Hunger Games. I'm reading it right now because the book club I'm in is reading it right now. So I know when I finish that one, I'll get to open the reading, the reading challenge book envelope for book club, which is exciting. But this one, like I said, it's cute. It started slow. Also, I'm aware that I need a haircut. I gotta, probably not this coming weekend, but next weekend. Oh God, I'm so tired. But I want to work on editing my December vlog because I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna do that while I drift off to sleep, is what's gonna happen here. Guys, it's happened. I've officially cried over a bookmark. So I got this from one of my students tonight. And when she gave it to me, so she's one of my students in my Everyone Can Dance class, and she's in a wheelchair. She has like very limited movement and speech, and I absolutely adore her. But at her physical therapy, a kid with special needs was making these with golf balls, and like the golf balls were like rolling in the paint and then laminating them and turning it into bookmarks, and she gave me one for Christmas, and it's so cute. I love it so much. So yes, I almost cried over a bookmark today. Okay guys, so it is Thursday. I don't even know what Thursday anymore. I think it's the 5th. It is the 5th. Go me. So it's Thursday the 5th. I am so tired. I don't know why I get so burnt out on Thursdays. Like, Fridays would be better, because then I only have one more day of work, but I still have 2 more days of work, and I'm feeling the weekly burnout. I was gonna sit here and read more of Book Lovers, but I'm just so tired. I know I'm gonna fall asleep trying to read it, so I'm not gonna bother. I did finish listening to The Hunger Games today. So I'm going to maybe do like the book journal for that while I watch like an episode of Friends. And I'm gonna go to bed because I'm just so tired. So tired. I do want to read Book Lovers more, but I feel like I'm gonna keep reading it in shifts, and maybe this weekend read a smaller book, or maybe I'll just bust through Book Lovers. I don't really know, guys. I'm so tired. I can't make any decisions right now. Hunger Games, like I said, it's always 5 stars for me, so that's not a surprise. Love that book. It's great. It's a comfort book. Like, I read it actually my first week of college. Oh, that's a fun fun thing to think about, actually. So I started college in January instead of starting in September. So I went to college from September to June the year after I graduated. And then I took 6 months off because I lived in Virginia. And then I didn't want to live in Virginia. I didn't like it there. So my family was living there at the time, which is why I went there. But I didn't like it. And it was going to be wicked expensive because I hadn't lived in Virginia long enough to go to a Virginia college without it being a Virginia address or whatever like that. You have to live there for so long. So I would either have to put off college for 6 more months, or I had to go back to New York. So I ended up going back to New York for college. And because I started in January, they had a week where you kind of just got to go on campus a week before kids who were returning did, because you missed all the orientations and stuff like that, all the important things. So I got to go on campus just for a week to kind of explore, see where my classes would be, get used to how the dining hall worked without having kids who already kind of knew that stuff there. And because I didn't have a roommate for my first week, I decided that I was gonna just I took a bus to Walmart and just kind of relaxed that whole week and figured out where my classes were. But I ended up taking a bus to Walmart and I got a bunch of groceries that I could keep in my dorm. And then I also picked up the Hunger Games book because I didn't have any fun book to read. So I picked up the Hunger Games book because it was right before the movie came out. It was a year before the movie came out, and they had just announced who was playing who in it. And it was very exciting. So I got the book and I read it in 2 days. I'm so tired that story was horribly told. But yeah, I read it in 2 days. I was super excited about it, and it was just a really fond memory of me getting to settle into my dorm. Now, it ended up being a horrible experience in my dorm because my roommate had really bad BO and didn't take a shower from January to March at all. Never once stepped inside the shower. And it was disgusting. So, yeah, I ended up moving out and moving in with somebody, and they ended up not being a very good person. So, it didn't turn out great, but that week was very peaceful. It was a very peaceful week. So, I'm going to, I think, just do this book journal and fall asleep. I'm so tired. Just burnt out, man. The first week back after break is brutal. But I was thinking, I only have 6 weeks. Not even. No. I have next week. The next week. The next week. Okay, yeah. I have 6 weeks and then I get a week off again. So. I have Friends playing in the background. I didn't feel like pausing it because I'm too tired to find the remote. But I did finish another one of my reading challenges, which was to participate in a book club in person or virtually. And that was for reading The Hunger Games. So I'm going to open up this flat this time and see what we have. Oh, how cute. It's like a little notebook for when people borrow your books. That's adorable. I really like this. This is so cute. Hello guys. So what a whirlwind of a week, honestly. It's only Tuesday, but it feels like it should be Friday because I'm just dead. So after I filmed that clip at Barnes & Noble, what are you doing? Can't be in trouble. No trouble, kitty. Yeah. So after I filmed that segment at Barnes & Noble, I ended up having to rush to the Barnes & Noble bathroom and throw up. Fun. That was the start of me getting a stomach bug. So I rushed home. I was sick for, I want to say, maybe a full 48 hours. Sick, down for the count. Couldn't get out of bed. I did end up making a purchase at Barnes & Noble. It was right after I purchased stuff, so I'll show you guys what I got. But I did end up just getting super sick and down for the count, couldn't read, couldn't do anything. I literally just laid in bed and felt awful for the last 2 days. And today was my first day back at work. I did feel better. I did wear a mask while I was there, but I'm just so worn now, but I still have so many chores to do because I just put it off from being sick. But I did get this second volume of Pokemon Journeys. This is like the newer version of Pokemon, and I also got this cute little bookmark of a cat on a corner, so like you put it on the corner of your book and it's a little cat, so I guess I can save this bookmark to remember me throwing up in the Barnes & Noble bathroom. But you know how sick I was, that I didn't, like, I started feeling sick before I threw up, but I thought I was just, like, I hadn't been eating well, and I hadn't been sleeping well the last couple nights. I thought it was just that. But it was like, you know I wasn't feeling well because I didn't spend the entire gift card. I only bought those 2 things, and I still have money left on the gift card. So it was kind of like one of those things where I was like, oh, I really don't feel well, but I'm at Barnes & Noble, so I might as well just pick up a couple things and then go home. And it turned out it was not just because I hadn't been taking care of myself. It was because I was really, really sick. So, noted. So I was very, very sick. And I have been down for the count for several days. Chandler's been very good to me. He's been bringing me his teddy bear. So that's important. But tonight I worked most of my shift. I ended up canceling my soloist. But other than that, I felt fine. I'm tired and worn down. So from spending the last 2 days of being sick. But I have to clean up some of my apartment. Blah, blah, blah. I am currently listening to on audiobook Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about it's like a standard Taylor Jenkins Reid novel where it starts at early decade to modernized. So it starts out I think in the 60s about a young girl whose father is training her to be the next great tennis player, and she is a very competitive person, very passionate about her career and stuff like that, and it ends up getting her into quite a bit of trouble as she continues on. So that passion, that drive, everything she's kind of associated with is not a great persona. So it's kind of that point of view. Carrie Soto is mentioned in Malibu Rising, so if you guys read Malibu Rising and are interested more in her character, this is the book about her. So it's a typical Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I'm standing here trying to think if I've read anything else since I last talked to you guys, because I didn't read while I was sick. What was the last book that I finished? Let me go check my Goodreads, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, I honestly don't remember where I left off, so I will just tell you guys, I did read an audiobook called Small Town Pride by Phil Stamper. This is about a boy who lives in a small town. He's about middle school age, and he comes out as gay to his parents, and his father puts up a giant pride flag in their yard, and it kind of starts a huge, controversy in the neighborhood and elsewhere, for this boy and his family. And that one I gave 5 stars, and then I read Adventures with Waffles by Maria Parr. I don't remember what I rated that. I'll have to go look. I think I rated it pretty high, though. I liked it. But that is about a boy who has a best friend who's a girl that lives right next door, and his life is going really, really well, and they get into lots of silly adventures together. And then one day his grandmother figure passes away, and that girl that he's friends with moves away, and he's kind of learning how to deal with grief and loss. So those are the 2 books that I've read, and then currently I'm working on Carrie Soto is Back, and still working on Book Lovers, which I think I've already talked about. Okay guys, so my horrible filming spot. I don't know why I sat this way. My air conditioner, the cover is broken off of it, so that's attractive. Anyway, so I finished listening to Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid last night. I only gave it 4 stars. I'm not into big sports books or anything like that. I usually give almost all of her books a 5-star. This one was only 4 for me just because there were so many sports references that I just didn't care about. But I still love the way that she does audiobooks and stuff like that, where she the audiobooks are always full cast audiobooks. It's really cool to listen to. It's like listening to a TV show. So I love that. So when they did do the sports segments, it was fun because it sounded like sports reporters, but I just didn't care. I didn't care about tennis. I didn't care about really much. Didn't care about much. But I did love the father-daughter bond. Actually reminded me a lot of the Herrera's, I can't say it, pluralize. Herrera's, pluralize that, however you say that, in the show Station 19. So, if you guys are Station 19 fans, like, the father and daughter there, whose last name is Herrera, but I can't pluralize, Herrera's, yeah, that would be what it is, but you're supposed to like roll your tongue. I can't roll my tongue while I'm trying to pluralize something. Anyway, but so the father-daughter relationship reminded me a lot of their relationship in Station 19, and I love those characters, so that was really nice. And also it did a really good job of like explaining grief and like the things we do while we're grieving, like I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to like spoil anything, but like she does something specifically that she doesn't want to do just to honor a memory. And I love that because I feel like sometimes I do a lot of things I don't want to do just because I'm trying to honor my parents' memory and stuff like that. And you know, like whether it turns out good or bad or what you learn from it, like sometimes you have to just do the thing even if you don't want to do the thing or you don't feel up for the thing or you're too sad to do the thing. You kind of just have to do it to see like what lesson you're going to learn from it. And that's kind of like what happens a lot in grief is like, oh, like my parents would want me to do this, so I should go do it. Even though I don't want to do it, I should go do it. And then, you know, whatever lesson I take away from it, it's either good or bad or, you know, it's something that I'll remember, something to carry their legacy on with. So for that reason, I liked it. I also liked, her characters are always so dynamic. Her characters, I feel like, are real people. Like, I'm like, Carrie Soto is not a real tennis player. I'm shocked. Like, that's, you know, her characters, Taylor Jenkins Reid just writes characters that just blow my mind. After that, I did listen to Another Brooklyn by Jacqueline Woodson, and this is about a woman. This is a Jacqueline Woodson actually adult novel. She normally writes middle grade and YA. This was an adult novel about a woman who is reflecting on her past as a child growing up in Brooklyn, and kind of like the people that she met there and this group of friends that she had, and it was 1970s Brooklyn as a Black woman. So this is... It's a good book. She's always hit or miss for me. I'm always like, yes, 5 stars or meh. What's the one that I really, really loved? And I can't remember the name of it now. Of course not. Why would I remember it? Peace Locomotion or just Locomotion. The 2 Locomotion books. I really loved those. Really loved them. And then Brown Girl Dreaming I liked. Like, I didn't give it 5 stars. I think I gave it like 4 stars. And then this one was just a 3-star for me. And the reason is, so, you know, I obviously can't connect to what she went through. I didn't live in the 1970s. I'm not a Black woman. And I didn't live in Brooklyn or have any, you know, colorful neighbors growing up. My cat is being so cute. OMG. Bing. Look at this baby. Look at him.
Were you playing with that box? Is that your box? Bingy. God, he's so cute. How did you get so cute? Who let you become this way? Oh, you got ball? You got your little pom-pom ball? You get that ball. You get that ball, Bingy. Love you. Blink right back at you, buddy.
Anyway, sorry. Quick cat break. Who doesn't love a quick cat break? But yeah, but I also feel like for adult novels that deal with such heavy topics, I want it to be longer. I want to know more. I thought, like, I'm listening to this on audiobook and I was like, this has to be written in like prose or something like that. It's not. It's like, I mean, it's not like written standard novel, but it's pretty normal novel. Like, it's, I was like, oh, I don't know why we couldn't have had more character development and more setting and more plot and stuff like that. It's always hit or miss with me because sometimes she does write in prose and her prose are beautiful. And I love reading them because, you know, it's short and simple and sweet. But then when she writes like a novel, like I didn't super love Feathers because it was written like standard novel, but she still kind of wrote like she was writing in prose. I don't know. I'm not always a fan, but sometimes a fan. So I try it. I keep trying it. I don't know. So this one was a 3-star for me. It wasn't a bad book. It just wasn't the normal books that I like by her. I also don't super love her as an adult author because I felt like even though it was a book for adults and like it dealt with more mature topics, I still felt like she was kind of writing it as if it was for kids. Like I didn't realize it was an adult novel until I finished reading it and I was like, that's kind of, it had some interesting topics in there for kids, but I mean, it wasn't like horrible, but I was like, maybe it's like late YA. No, it was an adult novel. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a 3-star for me. I didn't dislike it. It's hard to put in words. I wasn't a fan. But anyways, that book was actually under 200 pages, which does cover one of my ultimate reading challenges. So we're going to open up the envelope for that. All right. I'm already so far into this book. How many have I opened so far? 1, 2, which I kind of left this one in here. I got to take that out. But 1, 2, and then I think there's one more, 3. So I've opened 3 of the 25 already, and it's only January. So this one is read a short novel, typically under 200 pages. So we're doing it. Pull off this glue that's sticking. Okay, we just do that. I hate having to do this with my left hand. Let's see what we got. All right. Oh, a bookmark. There are a lot of books in here. Yes? There are a lot of books in here. What? Is this a bookmark or is it like a luggage tag? They're like for moving, but it's a little scuffed and dirty. That's sad. Oh, this one was actually kind of disappointing. Did it come? I don't get what it's supposed to be. What do we think? Do we think that it's a bookmark? I mean, I'll probably use it as a bookmark, but I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. It's a little disappointing and I'm upset that it's dirty. Like that's a bummer. Oh well, that one was kind of a bummer, but you know, gotta open them. So at least we didn't read like a long book and get that. Like that was for reading a short book. Like that seems fine. But so far from this, we've gotten a bookmark, which was like the little teacup bookmark. We've gotten the notepad that has the like due date slips in it for like if you lend out a book to people. And we got the what else did we get? We got the, what was the other thing we got? Oh, we got the little like book labels that were like this book belongs to. And then now we just got whatever this is, like a book tag or a bookmark. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, I think maybe it's like like a luggage tag for like, right? Like, cause why would you say there's a lot of books in here for a bookmark? I don't know what that's supposed to be. But anyway, not too bad so far. Did you just, give me your paw. No, well, you just got tape stuck to it. You weren't supposed to touch that. That's naughty. Don't be naughty. Well, you did it. So yeah, so I'm going to watch Titanic now, and I'm going to watch it and do a little, now what are you doing? Why are you being weird? But I'm going to do Titanic and then, or watch Titanic and do some more book journaling. I did some book journaling last night. And this weekend I'm really going to devote to reading since I was sick all last weekend, which was so fun. So, gonna do that. Hello, it is Saturday. Headed into work. It's snowing out today. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it is snowing. I really have no plans this weekend other than work till 5:30 tonight. So after that, I plan to pretty much just go home, sleep, read. I really would like to finish Book Lovers this weekend. It is kind of a long book for me. I don't really read adult fiction too often, so adult fiction always feels a little bit longer to me than YA and middle grade. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just have a reading weekend and chill. I'm still feeling much better after my stomach bug incident, but still just a little too tired and worn down from that. So but yeah, I'm headed into work and I'll check in with you guys later when I decide what I'm reading. Oh, right now on audiobook, I don't think I said, and it's getting cold. I switch hands. On audiobook, I'm reading The Ship of Dreams. Gosh, I cannot remember who wrote this. I never can. I always just post the picture, don't I? But I'm reading The Ship of Dreams, which is another Titanic novel. This one is nonfiction, and it's about the people on the Titanic that were well-known people prior to boarding. And it's kind of the voices of them and not so much the voices of them, like it's telling their tales and who they were and all that. And it's kind kind of cool. It's kind of almost written like fiction, like you think you're reading a fiction book, but you're not. But yeah, it's interesting right now. It's not like something that I super love because I prefer fiction novels, but it is a good read, and I'm learning a lot about people that I've heard about briefly in other books, but don't really know too much about their personal life, so it's kind of cool. All right, I'll check in with you guys later because I'm freezing. Hello. So it is January 15th. It is a Sunday. I'm sick again. Shocker. I just had the stomach bug last weekend, and now this weekend I'm stuffed up and have a sore throat. So, you know, greatest thing ever. Hi, Bing. But yeah, so I've had a chill couple days in bed. Yesterday I did work, but as soon as I got home, I crawled into bed. It's not COVID. I did a COVID test. We're all good there, but just cold. So I'll be wearing a mask at work again this week. So fun. But yeah, I get sinus infections like they're going out of style. I don't know why. I wish I didn't, but I do. But yeah, I'm just not feeling great. But last night, while I was just laying in bed, I read like 100 pages of Book Lovers, and tonight I'd like to finish it up. I have another like 170 left, I think. But once I got into it, it was a much faster read, so that was good. You brought me your toy? All right, ready? I gotta throw his toy. He has to go get his toy. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to finish this up tonight because it is the biggest book on my TBR of the month. So I figure if I can finish it up, then I will feel good about that. And I think for Reading Rivalry, my Facebook group game thing that I'm in, I only have 2 books left to read. So I'm hoping maybe I could even read them both tonight. But this is one of them. And I don't know what the other one is off the top of my head, but I would love to read this and a short book tonight, but it depends on how distracted I get and how I start feeling. But my goal is to finish up Book Lovers tonight. It's okay so far. It's not my favorite. Like, I always say I don't really like hetero romances. I don't like hetero romances if they're like super graphic. There's only been one graphic scene in it so far. Other than that, I don't mind. Like, other than that, I'm like, oh, people in love, that's cute. But this is just like, I don't know, it's kind of like all over the place. Also, I hate, I don't know why. It's no offense to anyone. It just like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. When adults call somebody sissy, like when they call their sister sissy. Like if you're talking to a little kid and you're like, oh, go get sissy, like that's fine. But I don't know why, I just hate it when adults are like, oh, that's my sissy. And I'm like, ugh. Just don't do that. But it's like people have weird word things. Like people don't like the word moist. I don't like sissy on adults. Like I just don't like it. I don't like it. And it says it a lot in here. A lot. So yeah, so that bugs me. But I'm coming to play, I promise. He's like, excuse me. Here's you. You got your toy? I'm coming. I gotta finish this segment. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So yeah, I just don't like when people, like adults, call each other sissy. Like it just bugs me. Maybe it's because I don't have a sister. Maybe that's why. I have a sister-in-law, but I don't call her sissy. Yeah, I just don't like it. Also I know my hair is crazy, guys. I gotta do something, but I don't want to right now. I just don't want to. I gotta get it cut at some point, and it's not today for me. It's not today. But yeah, so my goal is to finish this up tonight. Yeah, I don't hate it. I hate that it says sissy. I like the setting is pretty cute. Like it reminds me of some of the small towns I visited and stuff. Like that's cute. The main character's pretty good. I can't really relate to her. I'm not a shark. I'm very much a minnow. She's like a sharky literary agent. I'm very much a follower, and I don't like that about myself. Like I would love to be a leader, and I'm a leader, like I'm a role model is more what I should say. Like kids look up to me. I'm good at giving kids advice, but adults do not come to me for advice. I'm very much like I go to them for advice. Like I go to my friends for advice. Like they don't come to me. I'm not a leader. I'm not somebody that like, I don't like pave a way for anyone. I'm kind of just like, oh, that's a good idea. Like I'll do that too. Or I'll just be like, oh, congratulations, you're awesome. And I don't care about what I do, like, which is horrible. It's something that I should work on. I should want to be a leader, but I'm not. But I'm a role model, so that's good. But I just, I can't really connect to the main character. Like, I'm kind of connecting more with her sister, except I'm not, like, Becky Homeki either. Like, she is very, like, cooking, cleaning, has many children, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool too. Cool. Like, I guess I connect with the main character in a way that, like, she's all about her work and doesn't really care about love or having children or anything like that, which is good, but still just having a hard time relating to anyone really in the book. I guess I'm most like the guy. Probably most like the guy. Like, he came home to help out his family, and he's kind of all about work. He doesn't really care about romance or kids either. Like, I guess I'm the guy. I'm the guy in this. But yeah, he is not the main character, but I guess I relate most to him. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like all right for me right now, but it is a big book compared to what I normally read, so I'm gonna hopefully finish it up tonight. Okay guys, so my throat was hurting really bad, so I thought, hey, I'll order an ice cream. This is like a pint of ice cream. This is huge. This is so big. Friendlies, what are you doing to me? But I ordered a Jim Dandy. I just didn't realize how big it was gonna be, but I'm very excited to eat it. Okay, so it's almost 2 in the morning. I did finish Book Lovers. I'm gonna give it a 3-star. It honestly was a 2-star right up until the ending, but I thought it did a really good job of dealing with like loss and grief and the passing of a parent, which is mentioned in the beginning of the book, so that's not a spoiler. So yeah, so I thought that was pretty good. It wasn't like my favorite book ever, but it was pretty good. I was really annoyed about all the sissy things, like that really annoyed me, and there's something the guy kept doing that annoyed me, but I can't remember what it is. I feel like absolute crap. I don't know, I just started getting really sick again, so I'm headed to bed. It could easily be a trauma response. 2 years ago today is when I was diagnosed with COVID, and my mom passed away from that same diagnosis at the same time, so it is a tough time of year for me. We had it for about a month, and I think last year my brain did this too, where it was like, oh no, remember that horrible thing that happened? I think we're sick again. And I wasn't, but I just had all the like physical symptoms of it, but no like fever, no positive test or anything like that. But I'm just feeling crappy, so I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah, Book Lovers, 3 stars. Hello. So my throat is really sore and I'm wicked stuffed up, but it is what it is. It's not COVID, no fever. It is what it is. I just so sick of being sick, guys. I get sick all the time. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna read the 3rd and last book of the Titanic trilogy. This is by Gordon Corman. This one is called SOS. So far in the series, it's about 4 kids who are aboard the Titanic, and they come across a mystery that they're trying to solve. And in the first book, it was called Unsinkable, so it was them like boarding the Titanic. The second book was called Collision Course, so obviously that's when it hits the iceberg, and this one is when the boat is sinking. It's about 170 something pages, so I'm just gonna book through it tonight, and that should finish up a good chunk of my TBR. Honestly, I think I'm on like, this will be like the 10th or 11th book so far, so that's pretty good. I just feel like crap, guys, but sitting and reading isn't doing anything to hurt me, so that's what I'm gonna do tonight. But yeah, I don't know if I'll just read this or if I'll read a second book. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Okay, so it's about 3:30 in the morning. I just finished reading the Titanic. It took me a long time to read it because I had to keep peeing, which is a lot of information. But it's because I keep drinking so much water because my throat hurts. Anyway, this is a 3-star for me. It finally got good. If you guys watched any of my vlogs from last year, or if you like saw my Instagram posts about this series, it's been a solid 2 stars, I think. Finally picked up and finally was a little bit more historically accurate in this one. Like, there's a lot of historical accuracy in this, actually, in this specific book, but in the other 2, not as much. So I was finally glad to get to this one, and I finished a whole series. First month of the year, and I finished a series. So yeah, 3 stars for this one. I thought it was good. I thought the history was there. Still don't like the whole stupid Jack the Ripper thing that's a part of this, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and very realistic. It didn't like sugarcoat much, which I appreciated. I really need to go to bed though, so that's what I'm gonna do now. Tomorrow I'm hoping to read another book before bed. I've kind of liked this new, I kind of I stopped working past a certain time because it was getting to be a lot. Like, I was working like 13, 14-hour days just working from home, honestly, like waking up, doing work, and then going into the studio, and then coming home, that I ended up giving myself an exact cutoff time in the new year, and that has been really good for me. Feel a little bit more stressed out at work, but I feel a lot calmer trying to go to sleep, so that's nice. But I mean, it is still 3:30 in the morning, so I'm not going to bed earlier. I'm just going to bed calmer, which I guess is good in its own way. Chandler's being a little butthead today. He's being very needy, but I've also been sick for a couple weeks now, so he's just wants to play, and I just don't have the energy. So I'm gonna go to bed though, and I will check in with you guys and whatever comes next. Oh, and one more thing. For the Titanic history buffs out there, who is like, SOS didn't exist when the Titanic sunk, they do use the distress code of CQD, I think that's the original distress code, which means something, I know it ends in distress. Come quickly distress, yeah. CQD, come quickly distress. So it does use that one, and then it mentions that they're gonna try the new distress code, which is SOS, save our ship. So if you're like a Titanic buff and you're like, wait a minute, why is it called SOS? Because that's why. It was like a newer distress call in Morse code that they thought would go through faster, but the original one, the one that they actually used, was CQD, and that's the one that they sent a few times first before they were willing to try anything, and that's when they used SOS. So just for my other Titanic history buffs out there, I just wanted you to know that it's just because it's called SOS, they didn't mess up that history. What's up, guys? I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not feeling like 100%, like it's all in my nose now. Much rather it be in my nose than in my throat because it just hurts so bad to talk, to eat, to sleep, to breathe. Like everything was just hurting my throat. My hair is absolutely insane, guys. I'm gonna get cut on Saturday. Saturday's the day. Haircut Saturday. So last night I finished the Titanic book. I'm still listening to the other Titanic book I was listening to, which is The Ship of Dreams, which is like the nonfiction one that I told you guys I was listening to already. I am going to start right now The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane by Kate O'Shaughnessy. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to talk. But this is about a girl named Maybelle Lane who has been collecting sounds her whole life, and her favorite sound is the sound of her father's laugh that she heard in an old voicemail. And then one day she hears the same laugh on the radio, so she's convinced it's her father who's judging a singing contest in Nashville, and Maybelle happens to be a singer, so she decides that she's going to go to Nashville, be in the singing contest, and meet her father. I love the cover on this, which was why I put it on my wish list. Like, this is really a cover by. I didn't know too much about it, but I did know about it. Like, I'm not going to count this as like a cover by for like my reading challenge or anything like that because I did know a little bit about it, but like it was the cover that sold me on it. But it wasn't like one that I was just like, ooh, cover, I'm going to get this one. And that's what a cover by is to me. This is more like the cover looked interesting, so I read what it was about, and then I decided to add it to my wish list. But yeah, the cover really drew me in because it's just so pretty. I love these colors together, the pink and the purple and the blue. But this was gifted to me by my cousin for Christmas, so I'm excited to read this. I did get a milkshake from Burger King, which I really cannot be spending money on DoorDash. But I did it this morning. I did it for breakfast because my throat hurt so bad that I ended up getting a smoothie. And now I got a milkshake because it's really the only thing I want to eat. And I don't have the supplies to make that stuff here because I don't have a blender. So I guess I need to get a blender. But yeah, I'm just going to read a few chapters because I only slept like a couple hours last night because I really wasn't feeling good. But I am feeling much better now. Like, after being awake and going to work and stuff like that, I'm feeling much better. But I'm going to read until I get sleepy, and then I'm going to go to bed. But this is my next read, and I'm pretty excited about it. This will actually be the last read that I need for my reading rivalry group, and then I only have one more to read from my TBR, and then I get to mood read for the rest of the month. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, that never happens. So I am always like cramming at the last minute to get all my books in. So this is very exciting to me. Okay, guys. So it's January. Well, when I planned on recording this part, it was still January 19th. But now it's January 20th, like morning. It's like 5:30 in the morning. So I finished listening to Ship of Dreams, which I ended up giving 3 stars. It was like really interesting to like hear the historical context behind it, but there was a lot of like parts about like the people, the passengers, like childhood, and like Thomas Andrews' childhood. Or is that Andrew Thomas? Mr. Andrews. Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews, yeah, okay. Like his childhood. It was a lot about the Countess, which, other than that, like the actual learning about the Titanic and the sinking and like the historical context of that, the historical context of Jack Thayer, which was really cool. There were some really cool parts, so I gave it 3 stars, but there was just some boring parts too. But I still had like a half an hour of work left to do that I was working on with my book journal. And so I decided at like 3 o'clock in the morning that I was going to just turn on another audiobook and just listen to a half an hour of it while I finished my book journal and then go to bed. I turned on The One and Only Bob by Christina Applegate. I don't know if you guys have ever read The One and Only Ivan, but I loved that book like so much. And that was like a 5-star read for me when I read it. I want to say almost 5 years ago now. And I absolutely adored The One and Only Ivan. I thought it was so cute. I cried at it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to The One and Only Bob and just listen to the first half an hour of it. And The One and Only Bob follows the dog Bob that's in The One and Only Ivan after what happens in The One and Only Ivan. So like when that book wraps up, it's then Bob's story. And I was really excited about that because I love Bob. Like he's my favorite character in the entire One and Only Ivan book. So I started listening to it thinking like, I'm just gonna listen to a half an hour of it. I listened to the whole dang thing. And I mean, it was only like an hour and a half at the speed that I read it at, but it's like 5 o'clock in the morning now. And yeah. Okay. So it was a little bit over an hour and a half, but I did like pause it in between because I got distracted by YouTube. So it was probably like total of an hour and a half like listening through it, but I started listening to like the first part and then turned on YouTube and I was like, I kind of want to know what happens next. And so I was like trying to fall asleep to YouTube and I was like, no, I really want to know what happens next. So I kept listening to it. It's a 5-star, guys. It was so cute and I cried and I cuddled my cat and it just, her books, The One and Only Ivan, The One and Only Bob. I just got her book Otter, which is about like a little otter. And I'm so excited to read that one. But they just make you appreciate animals, what animals do for humans, what animals do for each other. And I just like picked up Chandler and was like snuggling him so hard. And I was like, I love you so much. So yeah, I had a little bit of an animal meltdown at 5 o'clock in the morning, but we're good, guys, we're good. So yeah, I'm gonna actually go to bed now, but yes, I finished those 2 books. The Ship of Dreams by Gareth Russell. I just choked on spit. By Gareth Russell, and then The One and Only Bob by Christina Applegate. So I finished those both up tonight. Well, the one I just read all in one sitting. So I'm gonna go cuddle my cat and cry about animals some more and go to bed. Okay, so The One and Only Bob, we have completed one of these with The One and Only Bob. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Oh, it's down here. Okay, so read a book that is primarily intended for children. Let's see what we got from this one. I think it's gonna be a sticker. Is it a sticker? Yeah, it's little book stickers. Oh my gosh, it's a little orange cat. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, there's 2 sheets here. Oh my goodness. Chandler Bing, it's a little orange kitty sticker. You're a little orange kitty, Chandler Bing. Oh, those are cute. I like them.
Can you hear, can you hear, can you hear my voice? Coming through, coming through, coming through the noise. I'm floating through outer space. I'm lost and I can't find a way. Oh, all the lights going dark and my hopes destroyed. Help me. Is anybody there? Save me. I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday.
Hello. See, this is what we've done with our entire Sunday, is just kitty cuddles. Kitty Cuddles. I don't know why he's so super cuddly today, but he is. He just wants me to lay with him, and he keeps laying in my arms. Ugh, it is the perfect Sunday. Look at this cat. Look at him. Are you so perfect? Yeah, you know you are. Anyway, so it is Sunday the 22nd, I think. Oh, like I said, I've been chilling with Chandler all day. He's just been super, super cuddly. I don't even know why. We did good sleeps today. I am still getting over all these sicknesses that I've had in January, so I just needed a day of rest, and I got that, and I woke up, and he was like in my armpit, snuggling hard, and I love every second of it. It's great. He is the best cat. Are you the best cat? He knows he's the best cat. Last night I finished listening to All Your Twisted Secrets, and that is by Diana Urban, I feel like is the author. I might be wrong, but I feel like that's the author's name. I don't know why I'm laying like against my hard wall when I have a pillow right here, but it's just the position I was in while I was snuggling my cat. So it's about very similar concept to a lot of the YA mystery books lately, but it's kind of Breakfast Club meets a big mystery. And so it is about, I think, six kids who are locked in a like dinner party with no escape, and they're left like a note where they have to either kill one of them or a bomb will go off. And I had the whole thing solved within the first 20 pages. So I mean, I was like hoping the whole time. I was like, I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope there's a huge twist, which, I mean, I guess there was a huge twist, but it was such a predictable twist. Like, it's something that I've seen in so many YA books. I did give it 3 stars because I feel like as a teenager, which it's written for, I would have really enjoyed it. I would have been mind blown by it, but as an adult, I was like, okay, I kind of know where this is going, and I figured it out within the first few pages. So, not my favorite book, but not the worst book that I've read so far this year. But yeah, only a 3-star for me. I am now going to be continuing these kitty cuddles with The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane. So I'm going to keep reading this one, and I'm hoping to finish this up today because it is actually the last book that I need for my reading rivalry. I have one more book after this for my Bookerty for the month. But yeah, pretty simple reading this month. I've really blown through it, and I still got like a week and a half left of the month. Last night I babysat the kids, and next Sunday I don't have a day to just stay home like I have the past few Sundays. But in fairness, the past few Sundays I've been sick, so the fact that I've read as much as I have this month is still impressive. But next Sunday is actually what would have been my mom's 60th birthday, so we will be going out to have a memorial kind of dinner for her at her favorite restaurant. So yeah, I'll be going there next week, but I should still have plenty of time to read, and I also need to make my February TBR next weekend. So, but yeah, it's just me and Ming. We're doing the snuggles and reading this book, so it's a good day. You guys, this book, I don't know why it made me so emotional, but I cannot stop crying. Like, an hour now I've just been crying over this book. God, it was so touching. It's not even sad. Like, that's the thing. I'm crying because it had so much happiness and so much joy in it, mixed with just the kindness of people. And I can't even pull myself together long enough to talk here. But I've really been missing the kindness of people lately. I need a minute before I can keep talking. Okay, I think I've pulled myself together now. I'll probably start crying again as I start talking about it again. But anyway, so this book, it's about Maybelle.
and she hears the sound of her dad's laugh on a radio station. It's the only thing she's ever known about him. Chandler stops scratching underneath the bed. But it's the only thing she ever knows about him, because all she has of him is a voicemail that he laughs on, and that's all she really knows about him. And she discovers that her dad is hosting a singing contest, and she has a beautiful voice, but she hasn't sang in a while due to a family tragedy that happened because of her singing. And so she decides that she's going to enter the singing contest even though she hasn't sung in forever, because she wants to meet her dad. So she gets herself this plan all worked out, and it goes AWOL, and she ends up getting a new plan that involves the help of a kind of cranky and stricter, I guess not really cranky, but stricter teacher and a local boy who, well, he's a little bit of a troublemaker. And honestly, so much of this book is just about the kindness of others, being kind to other people, helping, you know, their kindness show, your kindness showing. And Maybelle struggles heavily with anxiety and loneliness and just a substantial amount of guilt due to this tragedy that her singing caused. And the anxiety that she feels, you know, it's kind of eased by the kindness of others. And she's kind of trying to overcome it throughout the book, and you really see it get eased by the kindness of others. And honestly, I am just in a place right now where, oh, and I'm gonna cry again. Okay. The kindness of others is very important to me, and it's always been very important to me. Within this week, we're coming up on the anniversary of my mother's passing, or of my mother's birthday, which is only a couple weeks before her passing. So it kind of all happens at once. And the last time I talked to my mom, she was actually not conscious. She was on a ventilator, and it was my nieces and nephew and I singing her happy birthday while she was on a ventilator over the phone. And a very kind nurse allowing us to do that. And it was one of the last things I ever got to do for her before she passed. So I know why this is so emotional for me to read right now, but dear God, it was beautiful. Honestly, there were a few things in here that I could not get a star for, but I'm not going to. It's a 5-star for me. And honestly, I wish I saw more of that kindness in the world today, because I hear a lot of anger lately. It's been very disheartening for me lately, but also on top of that, you know, it's not that I don't have kind people in my life. I have a very kind family, a very loving family. The world is so angry. There are so many angry people, and I feel like I've just encountered them all lately. And it's just been really disheartening. Like, I'll go to a grocery store, and for some reason I will just get the most miserable person at the checkout, and like I just get so frustrated, and I'm like, why is everyone so mad at me? And this book kind of made me realize, like, have I been being kind back, or have I also been giving off that vibe lately? And it just very, very eye-opening book for a middle grade. Like, I am literally just distraught over this book, and I don't even think half of the intention was there as to why I am crying right now. God, it was just so beautiful. Such a beautiful book. I highly recommend this, especially if you have a child. I think the reading ages is 8 to 12 with anxiety. Oh, this hit anxiety hard, and I'm just sitting here thinking about my own anxiety and what I do to kind of help my anxiety, and what was done in this book for the anxiety. You know, I don't even have words anymore. I've lost all the words. The words are gone. I'm done. But yeah, so clearly a very emotional book. Highly recommend it. Absolutely beautiful. It's like 2:30 in the morning right now, and my mind is just like blown by this book and really emotional from it. So Anyway, that being said, I am going to, I think it is 2:30, but like I said, I slept most of the day away. I think I'm going to try to find a really short book on my shelf that will not make me cry, to just kind of like barrel out the rest of the day with, because I'm a little bit of a wreck right now, and I need a little bit of a distraction. And if I can't find one that'll work, then I'm going to turn on Friends, because, whew, I cannot go to bed or even, you know, just distract myself with YouTube with all the emotions that I'm feeling right now. But I am so glad I read it. Like, it is definitely a book that I needed to hear right now, but whew, I'm a mess, guys. I'm an emotional disaster right now because of this book. Did anyone else know Kate O'Shaughnessy doesn't have any other books out yet? This was her first book. Her first book made me sob. And now I have to wait till February 23rd when she comes out with another book, which is called Lasagna Means I Love You. So I will be reading that immediately when it comes out, because if you can write this well on your first book, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm taking my emotional little ass into a different place, and we're going to the world of Pokemon, because Pikachu has never made me cry. So I will be reading the second volume of Pokemon Journeys while watching Pokemon Ambiance and pretending life is fine. Alright, y'all. I just finished volume 2 of Pokemon Journeys. It only took me an hour to read. It's like 3:30 now. Not even, I think it's like 3:20. This is by Machito Gomi. You guys know that I read the first one in the beginning of this vlog, so this is the second one. It kind of just follows along the same storyline. So Ash and Go are still out. Ash is trying to become a Pokemon master and get one of every Pokemon, and Go is trying to, I think he's, if I remember correctly, he's getting like rare Pokemon. Like that's like his thing, where Ash wants one of every Pokemon, and to become like the ultimate Pokemon battle champion. So this was just the second one. There's 6 stories within it. Super cute. Again, another 4-star for me. It always just leaves like a little something missing for me. Like it's just like not enough to like fulfill what I want in a read. So it's not a 5-star, but geez, the memories of Pokemon. I really want to find, like, did they have mangas back in the day of Indigo League? Because that was my jam with Misty and Brock and Team Rocket. Like, those are the ones that I want to read. Because this just, like, it's like a nice little nostalgia that it is Pokemon, because the actual Pokemon are the same. They've got some new Pokemon now. But, you know, there's Pikachu, there's Snorlax, there's Poliwag, there's all the ones that, you know, from my childhood and stuff, even with the new ones. But I just miss that, like, Misty, Brock, Ash walking along and then running into Team Rocket and getting into a battle. Like, that was my Pokemon. So but the Journey series is cute too. But was there ever a manga of the Indigo League? Because if there was, I think I'm gonna have to get it. But yeah, so I am going to, I think, do some book journaling. I'm still not tired, so I think I'm gonna do book journaling for a little bit and then go to bed. So I will see you guys on whatever comes next. Alright guys, so it's Monday the 23rd. I had quite a day. I started off with a doctor's appointment where, very, very, very long story short, it is in my best health interest to not be a vegetarian anymore. So I'm dealing with that currently, and I know for all you people out there who are vegetarians, the vitamins, the other foods and stuff like that, I know. I went through it all with my doctor. We talked. This is the best way for me to go. I was never a vegetarian for animal purposes. I love animals, and I totally agree that they should be treated properly and stuff like that, but that was never really my reasoning behind becoming a vegetarian. It was because of my anxiety and that I would have food aversions because of my BPD and all that stuff, and yeah, what I'm doing right now is not helping any of that, so no point in keep doing it. So that was stressful, and then I didn't really have a long time to rest before going to work, and then I had some rhinestoning to do, so I did that, and now I'm home and I have to do my taxes, so I'm already tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night either because I was worried about this doctor's appointment, and because I was up reading all night. So, yeah, so fun times. Chandler, can you stop going under there? Thanks. But yeah, so I'm gonna do my taxes now. Since I'm already in a bad mood, I figure let's get those out of the way. I did start listening to a new audiobook. It was How to Ditch Your Fairy, but I don't like how it's being read on script. Like, it's like somebody just did it like themselves and recorded it. So I'm probably not going to finish listening to that, so I'm not even going to get into details or anything about what that's about, because I've listened to one chapter and I just don't like the sound of the audiobook. So I'm probably going to switch off doing that one, but I've got to find other things to read on audiobook. But I can't do anything while I do my taxes. Like, I need just like white noise because I'm so bad at math and it stresses me out so much. Okay, so it's 5 a.m. I did not plan it on staying up this late. I actually didn't sleep well last night either, so, you know, going well. But I did end up finishing Voices from the Disaster. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really good, very educational. I loved all the pictures and the, like, information within it. I thought it was really, really interesting. There's just, like, an example of, like, the picture pages. Lots of stuff that I didn't know. But things that I think kids in this age group would be really interested in. I would say this doesn't really have an age group written on it. It is a Scholastic book. I would say like 13, 14, 15 would enjoy this. Maybe 12 to 15 would enjoy this. It was a little in-depth, very, very much a non-fiction book. Like, it was just straight, like, people talking about like what the Titanic was, who was on the Titanic, things that people from the Titanic said after they were off the ship, stuff like that. So very much a nonfiction for those who enjoy that kind of thing. I really liked it. I gave it a 4-star. I actually liked it better than Ship of Dreams because I felt it had a little bit more for me. Like, there were so many pictures and letters and telegrams and just so many things in it that I really enjoyed. So 4 stars. I'm going to try to go to bed now because, you know, 5 a.m. I have to be up in like 5 hours. So okay, guys, so it's 6:30 in the morning. So I finished listening to Witchlings by Claribel A. Ortega. Did I say what that was about? I think I did. But I gave it 5 stars. I really like her writing. I think her books are really cute. I know that's not like a popular opinion. I know most people think she's like a 3-star author. But I really like her books. I think they're cute. And it kept me interested. So I started listening to January 1st, Father's Something into Childhood Schizophrenia. I don't actually know what it's called. The book's called January 1st. But basically, this is by Michael Schofield, and he has a daughter who is diagnosed with childhood onset schizophrenia, and their journey of getting that diagnosis. And I wasn't going to do a review about it tonight, but I feel like I have to. So I'm like looking at the reviews, and so many people are like, oh, Munchausen's by proxy. And honestly, like, I listened to the book in one sitting. It was like a 4-hour audiobook, and I listened to it just straight through tonight, and that's why it's 6:30 in the morning. But hi, Chandler. Okay, you guys gotta see Chandler right now because he's being... Hi. He's the cutest little buggy. And does look at your nose? Hi. He loves you. Yep. Yes, Chandler was listening to it too, so he's very distraught by the whole thing too. But anyway, so I'm 50-50 with the book. It kept me super intrigued. I listened to the whole thing in 4 hours, which is what I ask for in a book, whether I like it or dislike it. So that always gives it like up to 2 stars at least for me. And then I gave it another star because it was very honest. Like, he was very honest. However, I think this father should have lost custody of his child. Like, and I feel bad saying that. Like, he's writing a very honest memoir. But first of all, I mean, he If you guys don't want spoilers, you can fast forward, probably like 3 minutes. So yeah, fast forward for the next 3 minutes if you don't want spoilers. But if you do want spoilers, here we go. Basically, first of all, he surrenders the rights to his child. Not that surrenders the rights, but he says that he's not going to take his child home at one point and the cops have to come pick her up. Which, I mean, that's where he was at with his kid, but it was still like, oh, you're just not going to pick up your kid from school because she was being so bad. Secondly, he admits to shaking her as a baby. He's accused of molesting her, which, you know, I mean, it's his point of view, so no one really knows what happens, but he says that he didn't. You know, which I mean, I hope he didn't. I'm not hoping that he did, but I mean, there's one account of that, like, and it's all from his point of view. But also, like, he is so hell-bent on getting his kid, like, diagnosed with something. Like, he's pushing for a diagnosis, and then he's like, oh, she's just a bad kid. Like, one second he's like, she needs a diagnosis. The next second he's like, oh, she's just a bad kid. He, like, locks her in in her room and stuff like that. And I get it. Like, every kid's special needs has something else. Bing, what's the matter? I don't know why he's meowing. What? Oh, there's a bug. That's why he's meowing. There's a bug. And he wants me to get it. He always meows for me to get a bug for him. So anyway. But yeah, I don't know, the guy is like all over the place. And then he's talking about how he has his own mental health issues and how he tries to kill himself. And nothing's really like their solution is that him and his wife are just going to live in separate apartments with their 2 kids so that the little girl can't hurt her brother. Like, it's just very sketchy to me. Like, I just don't feel like any of it was well handled. All right, so this is where you can stop now. I'm done giving away spoilers. But yeah, I just felt like this kid was let down by her family, let down by the health system, and is like, I mean, this stuff happened in 2008. She was 6 in 2008, so what does that make her now? Hold on, now I'm actually curious. I gotta do some quick math. So she's about 14, 15 years old now. So, I mean, she's still in her parents' custody. I don't know, like, an updated version of her story or anything like that. I might look it up and see if there is anything. But, I mean, as of right now, she's still a minor, so she can't really speak out against. Also, I feel like how horrible that her dad wrote an entire book about what an awful child she was as she's getting diagnosed with this mental health disorder, but, like, wrote an entire book about it exposing everything that this kid ever did just out there in the world. Like, people with mental health disorders aren't, like, dumb. Like, I have a mental health disorder. I'm not dumb. Like, and I just feel like he wrote, like, very embarrassing and personal details in this memoir. You know, like, she is capable, yes, if her diagnosis at the end of the book is early onset childhood schizophrenia. And, you know, like, whether she goes on to live a mostly normal life or whatever, odds are she's going to have a friend. She's going to have someone in her corner, like, but that could be very embarrassing for her if she's trying to, like, become an adult and make friends, and, you know, hopefully she finds the right medication and stuff like that. But I don't feel like schizophrenia is an end-all either, which people are like, oh, he says, like, schizophrenia is the worst mental health illness you could have. Any mental health illness is a horrible mental health illness, but also it's not really the worst. Like, it is horrible, but there are so many different mental health illnesses, like, that people have that could be the worst. Like, you can't just say, like, it's like comparing apples to oranges. I can't say, like, schizophrenia and anxiety, like, oh, anxiety is so much easier to handle than schizophrenia, because it depends on the person. Somebody could have crippling anxiety, literally can't get out of bed, and somebody with schizophrenia could be, you know, a multimillionaire. Like, you know, like, it's very different. It's apples to oranges. You can't compare mental health diagnoses. But anyways, it was just very, very frustrating to read, but I did give it 3 stars because I was really enthralled into it, so that bumped it from a 1 star to a 2 star automatically because I was just, like, really into it and listened to the whole thing in 4 hours. But then also I felt like I gave it 1 other star for the honesty, but then I also docked it a star for the honesty. So it wasn't a 5 star. It wasn't a 5 star because I thought the dad didn't do a good job of handling his kid, which I've explained already for those who didn't want the spoilers. Basically, I talk about how there were so many other things that could have been done. And yes, it was 2008. Things were a little different back then, but I mean, come on, people. Like, anyway. But, you know, like, I felt like I docked it a star because I felt like, while it was honest, he could have handled his kid a lot better. He admitted to a lot of things that could be considered child abuse, and I think he should have been looked into more than what he was looked into for. And, you know, he put all that out in a book and wrote about it, and it's not great for his kid. I mean, it's like family vloggers. Like, I record my nieces and nephew doing cute things and stuff like that, but I would never record like their daily life or their embarrassing situations, you know. Like, I record like a cute time we have together in one scenario, but I can't imagine waking up and shoving a camera in my kid's face every single day in, day out, and, you know, putting their grades on the internet and putting their, you know, when they got their period on the internet and all this stuff. Like, I can't stand that kind of stuff, you know. I also think, like, you know, I just feel like you're putting your kids out in the universe for them to get made fun of by peers, and we're already struggling in a society where people are getting bullied too often. But, you know, I mean, he did that in a book. He wrote every single thing that's ever happened to his daughter in a book, for the world to see, for the world to read, for the world to pass judgment on a child that they don't know. And she could be now at 14 years old. I don't know her. I don't know her situation, but at 14 years old, she could be a perfectly typical kid being managed by medication. And, you know, people could read this book and be like, oh, she's a horrible person. Don't go near her, like, kind of thing. You know, like, just, you wrote a book about a 5-year-old and you're setting it up for her rest of her life, like, and you're saying like, oh, this diagnosis is going to make the rest of her life. So I was very angry with the book. So I did give it 3 stars because it provoked an emotion, got me hooked, got me reading it. And I don't always have to like a book for me to rate it a higher rating. But I just feel like I didn't give it 5 stars because I didn't agree with anything that she was failed by the health system. She was failed by her parents. End of story. But yeah, I just wanted to pop on and say, like, this book kept me up for 4 hours because I wanted something right to come by this child, and nothing right was being done by this child. So yeah, so it is a 3-star. Now that I've talked about it though, I think I'm going to lower it to a 2-star. Because I'm so angry about it. But I also feel like, I don't know, like, it was honest. But I just feel like I didn't even consider, like, when I originally rated it, that she was, you know, 5 years old and this is going on documentation for the rest of her life. Like, I would have, if he, like, in the beginning it said, like, some people's names were changed and stuff like that, but I don't think that he changed his daughter's name in the book. It's very much about how she doesn't like her name in the beginning and how she wants people to call her a different name. So I don't think that they changed her name at all. So, you know, maybe if they changed her name and he went by a pen name and it was, you know, like an anonymous situation, I would give it a 3-star, but I do think I am going to actually dock it down to 2 stars because this just exploited this child. So yeah, January 1st, Michael Schofield, 2 stars. I had to pop on while I was still in the heat of the moment of reading it because it made me mad, and I don't even know if I need to be mad about it. Like, all this stuff could be very honest, but again, it's one person's account. Like, I feel like it's a good understanding of what people needed to understand. Like, I feel people do need to understand about onset childhood mental health issues. I actually have, my official diagnosis is CPTSD, because I was diagnosed with PTSD as a child. So I am somebody who's grown up with post-traumatic stress disorder, and it, plus my anxiety and depression, started at a very young age, compared to people who are diagnosed as adults. But yeah, so I do feel for that situation, and I feel like it's something that we do need to talk about, but I think it could have been done more tactfully and maybe not. I mean, he really was like, oh, I'm such a horrible parent. I'm such a horrible parent. Like, 1 second. And then he's like, but all I do is sacrifice for my child. And all I do is, and he just had like this martyrness to him. And I'm like, that's just, it felt like he was almost happy. Like, oh, if I'm not sacrificing for my child, I'm going to just, you know, go off myself because all I want to do is sacrifice for my child, to the point where he's like, no, wife, you can't spend any time with this child because I'm the only one who can sacrifice for her. I'm the only one who understands her. It was very, very sketchy. So yeah, I am going to dock it down to 2 stars because now that I've been talking about it, realizing the exploitation of this child, it just didn't settle well with me. Didn't settle well. Yeah, I feel like if it was more like, you know, an anonymous telling of this, of like, oh, you know, I've changed, like, just so you know, like, this isn't my name, this isn't my child's name, this is the story that we went through, you know, it'd be more understanding, but he was very much like, this is me, this is my kid, this is all the shit she put me through, like, kind of thing, and, like, this is how the rest of our lives are going to be, which doesn't necessarily have to be true, like, there is treatment, there's medication, there's, you know, ways to maintain, handle. Is it going to be perfect? No, probably not. Your kid is ill, just like if you had a child with autism. But, you know, I think there's ways to not just mark her off as, oh, you know, she's not smart now, she's dumb, and she's going to be like this horribly broken child for the rest of her life, so whatever. Yeah, I don't think it was handled well. 2 stars, and I'm done talking about it, and I'm going to bed. But I'm still very angry, so I'm gonna have to like watch something happy really quick, and then I can go to bed. Hello, so it is Saturday, January 28th. I'm headed to work. I just started listening to Last Gamer Standing. Can't remember who it's by. It's an audiobook. So I'll post it here so you guys can see who it's by. I found it on Scribd. It sounds really cute. It sounds like a middle grade version of Ready Player One, but with a girl as the lead, and she's kind of a secret gamer girl. She goes to a gamer school or a gamer camp, something like that. But she goes there and she is kind of just like under the radar type of kid, but she has a secret account that she plays where she is a beast and she plays as a guy. She plays as a male avatar. So kind of gets respect hearing all the people talk about this awesome guy gamer, and it's actually her. So, oh, there's ice here. Okay. And they're trying to get to these championships. Sorry, there's a lot of ice, guys, so I'm very distracted. But she's trying to get to these championships where she can win lots of money to help her mom, who has cancer, pay her medical bills. So it's a pretty good read so far. I'm only like 15-20 minutes in, but it's pretty cute. But I am headed to work. I'm only here till 4 today, and then I don't have anything afterwards, so I get to just go home, read. I still would like to read Confessions, which was on my TBR, but it's supposed to be a little scary, and I don't know if I want to read it, because I know I'm going to take a nap when I get home. I only slept an hour last night again, so I don't know if I want to read it tonight, after I wake up from my nap, or if it's going to be late and I'm going to get scared. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see what I end up picking, but I am going to read something tonight. I just don't know what yet. Hello. So my cat is being a butthead right now. I'm sure you're shocked. It's a little after midnight. I was going to start reading Confessions, which was on my TBR for the month, and I decided I don't want to do it because tomorrow, but today, because it's after midnight, is my mom's birthday. And if you guys are new to my channel, my mom passed away 2 years ago. My dad passed away 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. They passed away 14 months apart. So yeah, I guess my dad passed away 4 years ago. But yeah, it's just a really challenging time, and Chandler, get out from under the bed. And I don't really want to read anything too heavy right now. So I'm going to read Starfell, which is Willow Moss and the Lost Day by Dominique Valente. And this is about a girl who is like an ordinary witch, and a day goes missing. Like it says last Tuesday has gone missing, and she's the only witch who can find it. So it just sounds cute. It sounds simple. She's got a cat, which right now I might trade mine in. Can I trade you in for this cat? Hello. How are you? Good. Okay. I see you've got, no, don't go back under there. Nope. Okay. He's doing it. So yeah, so I'm going to read this one. It's about 219 pages. I don't know if I'm going to read it all tonight. I might read half tonight and then do some book journaling and finish it up tomorrow night. But this will probably be my last physical book of January. And then, like I said, I am reading the gamer one. I can't remember the name of it right now. As an audiobook, which will probably end up being my last audiobook of January. So those are the two things that I'm going to finish up reading for this month. That'll bring me to, I think, 21 books for this month once I finish up these two. I still have to do my TBR, but I don't feel like filming tonight. So I'm going to do that another night. But yeah, so I'm going to dive into this book and read probably half of it tonight. And
Are you scared of the vacuum? Are you hiding up there because you're scared of the vacuum? Oh. Are you going to come down? I'm still vacuuming, just so you know. You going to come down? You feeling brave? You feeling brave? No.
okay, so I vacuumed and I had cheesecake left over. I didn't end up eating the cheesecake. We went to the Cheesecake Factory for my mom's birthday, and I didn't end up eating my cheesecake there because I was really full from my meal. So I'm going to sit down and eat my cheesecake now because I vacuumed and I feel like I deserve cheesecake now. But this is the fresh banana cheesecake. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's my favorite cheesecake. Banana cheesecake, it's delicious. Okay, so it's 5 a.m. on January 31st. This is the last day of January. Well, I usually say it's January 30th, but it's January 31st, actually, based on how I tell time. But yeah, so it's actually the last day of January. In reality, we'll do it that way this time because I'll probably just wrap up the vlog here. But I did finish reading Starfell, Willow, Moss, and the Lost Day. Yeah, Lost Day. Oh my gosh. Willow, Moss, and the Lost Day by Dominique Valente. I only gave it a 2-star, guys. So the redeeming quality of this book was the cat, whom I loved, who is not a cat. He's a monster, but he's a cat. Because it reminded me of my Bing. But it did a lot of world building, but not world building in a way that I like it was world building by like telling me about the world, not really showing me the cool things the world had to offer, and like it would backpedal a lot, like, oh, like this is part of our world, didn't mention it before, but this is actually part of our world kind of way. And it took me until I want to say the last like 3 or 4 chapters to really appreciate the book. So I did give it 2 stars instead of 1 star because the last few chapters were actually pretty good. As a part of the last chapter, without giving a spoiler, there was like a kind of, I don't know if the author intended it, but like it felt like a support of the LGBTQ community with like being like, oh, like, you told me to pray this away and I can't kind of thing, which I appreciated that. I don't know if that was the author's intention, but that's how I took it, and that was good for me. And then also I did get a little emotional towards the ending with something that happens to Willow, but honestly, I don't think I'll continue the series. Like, the ending kind of got me interested in continuing the series. Chandler, stop digging under the bed every time. But yeah, like, and the cat, I really like the cat. He was funny. But yeah, like, those are the only 2 things that would make me want to consider continuing the series. There was a lot of, like, hefty language, like, not, like, bad language, but just, like, this is ages 8 to 12, and definitely more like an 8-year-old interest, because I feel like a 12-year-old wouldn't really care about this book. Like, it's very much like a younger fantasy, but the language was so like there were words that I was struggling reading over, and I just imagine handing it to my niece. She would read the first like chapter and be like, nope, I'm done, because she doesn't like reading to begin with. But I feel like she would like a book if she could find a book that would really hold her interest, but this was not one. Yeah, the first bit of it was just rough, but the ending was good and the cat was funny. So I am going to give it 2 stars instead of 1 star, but it was just not my cup of tea. Not really how I wanted to end January, but that will be the last book I read in January. So I am going to wrap up the vlog here because I don't really imagine anything exciting happening from this point on. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed watching my month of January and the 21 books that I read this month. But yeah, I'll see you guys in whatever comes next.
Bye!
Wasn't that a great video? Clearly books make me very happy. Now you can make me happy too. Click the subscribe button to follow my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you think I did good. And the notification bell will let you know when I post new content. Also, follow my Instagram for more book shenanigans.